Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network Novel. Returning from study abroad. Making a plane and driving home, also known as returning from studying abroad. Stealing an F-22 and driving it home, Netizen. What is the experience of driving the world's most advanced M-country F-22 fighter jet? Lu Xuan. Thank you for inviting me. I just got off the plane and I have returned to my home country. Netizen. Ma is really capable of boasting. Today's headline. Just an hour ago, Chinese student Lu Xuan piloted an F-22 fighter jet and successfully landed at a military airport in China. Net friend traveling through time to become an exchange student, but being deported by top universities in M-country due to poor academic performance, has been ridiculed and criticized online. But no one expected that on that day, Lu Xuan secretly flew back to China with the most advanced F-22 fighter jet from M-country. In the Chinese airspace, a formation of fighter jets facing a formidable enemy intercepted and said, "This is the Chinese Air Force. You are about to enter our airspace, leave immediately." I thought it was a military invasion by M-country, but I heard a response from the public channel. "Captain, don't shoot, my own people." For a moment, China boiledFeilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Just crossing the border, about to be sent back to the country. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Just crossing the border, about to be sent back to the country. Have you seen the Weixin app? The exchange student Lu Xuan from the University of Science and Technology of North China, due to poor academic performance, is unable to concentrate on his studies and will be sent back to Kyushu by the University of Today in M-country. I'm going, really fake. It's absolutely true, official way from the North Research Institute has sent a message confirming it. I still remember that among those exchange students, only Lu Xuan was the most outstanding. Before setting off, Li-Base Science and Technology Research live streamed their farewell party, and Lu Xuan even went up as a representative to speak. Yes, it is said that he lost himself in M-country, frequenting bars and nightclubs all day long, indulging in corruption and leading to a sharp drop in academic performance. As a top-tier university, the University of Today naturally speaks based on his grades and will not allow such people to exist in the school. Alas, it's only been a few months now. The mountain chicken has turned into a phoenix. What a great opportunity. Lu Xuan doesn't know how to cherish it at all. TSK, you're really a lost man. The proud son of Kyushu, who was deported due to poor studies, is really a laughingstock for foreigners. Who said it's not? At this moment, Lu Xuan, who was in an apartment in M-country, was staring blankly at the discussion about him on the Weixin app. That is to say, an hour ago, Lu Xuan had just traveled to this planet. Based on the awakened memory in his brain, Lu Xuan knows that this place is called Yinglan Star, which is a modern technological planet. And the level of technology, lifestyle, culture, and other aspects on this Yinglan Star are similar to the Earth where I lived in my past life. So even if he had just crossed over, Lu Xuan didn't have any trouble and quickly adapted to this place. I can tell through your grandfather that this has just become a laughing stock after crossing over. Lu Xuan angrily threw his phone aside and lay on his back in bed. Others travel through time, either a billionaire god or a powerful master. What is my situation? Although he is an exchange student from a top university in China, such as the University of Science and Technology of North China, he was actually deported by the top university in M-country, Today University, due to poor academic performance. What kind of divine joke is this? At this time, Lu Xuan had 48 hours to pack his luggage and complete the procedures. After 48 hours, Lu Xuan will board the plane and return to his homeland, Kyushu. Then, he will have to endure condemnation, ridicule, and verbal abuse from all aspects of Kyushu Kingdom. Thinking of these, Lu Xuan suddenly sat up from the bed. No, why should I bear these fishing boats? These things are not done by me. Lu Xuan, who has always been bold and quick-witted, decided to launch a self-rescue campaign. Even if he couldn't completely extinguish the fishing vessel, he would at least reduce the amount of firepower he could bear. Considering this, Lu Xuan took his phone and opened the Weixin Boan app again. Lu Xuan looked at the sending interface of the Weixin Boan app and pondered how to reply. I know, you are all waiting for my response. Alright, I admit that I am not good at studying and not suitable for this place, which has disappointed you. After editing, Lu Xuan clicked send. Lu Xuan knew that it was an ironclad fact that he was going to be deported and could not be changed. At this point, anything he said would be seen as sophistry, so he just admitted it. As expected, as Lu Xuan had anticipated, after the release of his Jiaowei-type blog app, the direction of the fishing vessel's wind changed. Lu Xuan, aside from anything else, at least he has a good attitude of admitting his mistake. Stand firm after being beaten, don't argue, it's pretty good. It's good to know you're wrong. If we had this attitude, why would it be so? Lu Xuan browsed through it, and although there were still negative reviews, there were indeed fewer insults. Taking advantage of the victory, Lu Xuan launched the second Weixin Boan app. Kyushu and M countries naturally have differences in their lifestyles, but this cannot be a reason for some people with ulterior motives to fabricate rumors and attack me. The intention of Lu Xuan's Weixin blog app is very obvious. Those who say I am corrupt online are deliberately blacklisting me. U1S1, those who say that Lu Xuan is corrupt have not provided evidence. Some people are following the trend, right? I don't know the full picture, so I won't comment. After disrupting the wind direction of the fishing vessel, Lu Xuan posted another way-shaped blog app. Thank you for the help of the teachers and friends at the University of Tuasti over the past few months. Goodbye. Although as a Kyushu national, I have received some unfair treatment during this period, I still want to thank everyone. Let's be lenient and happy. We are strangers, and we will see each other in the future. This Weixin blog app can be seen as a killing move by Lu Xuan, using ambiguous statements to divert everyone's attention from his intention to repatriate to what unfair treatment Lu Xuan has received. This matter is not simple, there is insider information. Agree, it's best to check. M-country is like this, saying others discriminate every day, and I am the one who discriminates the most. Seeing that the wind direction had changed, Lu Xuan used the ultimate skill. Goodbye, M-country. Over the past few months, I have come to understand that the air here is not so sweet, and the moon here is not round. I still miss my motherland, Kyushu country, and I am back. This Weixin blog app has something to say, and Lu Xuan hinted at many Muyang dogs inside, which immediately resonated with many people. Hahaha, there's something to be said, old yin-yang person. It's a bit interesting, I followed it. Unlike those who have said that everything is good abroad before, Lu Xuan has not forgotten his roots. Although Lu Xuan is a scumbag, he is still quite patriotic, not forgetting his roots, and not worshipping foreign things. I fully agree with this. Learning to pull the hips, people are pretty good, ahaha. However, we still cannot change the fact that we were sent back to our country due to poor academic performance. Unfortunately, this time it has truly brought shame to our education in Kyushu. That's right, this time it was a bit embarrassing. I was actually expelled from a foreign university. P.S. Old author's new book, Seeking Flowers, recommendation tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. How can one return home with glory? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. How can one return home with glory? Seeing everyone's gaze being diverted by his own set of qualities, Lu Xuan unconsciously smiled at the corners of his mouth. Okay, even if you return to China, there will be fewer people cursing you. Just as Lu Xuan was thinking, he suddenly heard an electronic sound of ding coming from his ear. Lu Xuan turned around in confusion and didn't see any electrical appliances on. Just as Lu Xuan was puzzled and thought he had heard the wrong thing, the electronic sound rang out again. Congratulations, Master. The system has been bound and is now enabled. System. At this moment, Lu Xuan confirmed that the sound was not from the outside world, but rather from his brain. Are you awakening the system? As a fan of online novels, Lu Xuan is no stranger to the system. Through the standard configuration of golden fingers, online novels never deceive me. Lu Xuan was a little excited, but after calming down a bit, he asked the system to give an introduction. Report to the master, this system is the strongest academic system. We can assist the owner in completing the most cutting-edge scientific research projects. As long as the owner completes a scientific research project, they will have a chance to win a lottery, with a wide range of prizes available. If you don't want to draw, you can also exchange it for points, which can be exchanged for items, skills, etc. in the system mall. Meanwhile, if you trigger certain specific achievements, you can also receive random rewards, Master. Well, I see. After some introduction, Lu Xuan understood the functions of the system. Do you have any gift packages for newcomers? Lu Xuan asked. Yes, Master. After speaking, a system light effect flashed and an additional gift package was added to the system backpack. Open it. Lu Xuan said without hesitation. Bang bang. After a pleasant sound, the gift package was opened. Master Level Hacker Technology *1. Intermediate Body Strengthening Liquid *1. Fighter Piloting Technology *1. The items given in the gift package can be understood literally. The items given had high practical value, and Lu Xuan was satisfied and immediately chose to use them all. After a burst of heat, Lu Xuan felt the changes in his body and a lot of related knowledge in his brain. Although he was sent back to his home country at the beginning, with the support of the system, it can be considered a comfort. If you want to practice unparalleled martial arts, you have to endure the unbearable pain of ordinary people, the tea that masters love to drink. While pondering, the phone beside Lu Xuan rang and he picked it up casually. Hello. Lu Xuan. A knowledgeable female voice sounded. It's me. Lu Xuan could tell that this was Tong Ying, the beautiful director of the Libei Research External Liaison Office. Previously, when Lu Xuan came to work as an exchange student at the University of Tuasti, she coordinated and took good care of him. Are you okay? Tong Ying's voice was calm and gentle. Very good, Lu Xuan said naturally. Tong Ying paused for a moment and continued, Lu Xuan, since the matter of repatriation has come to this point, you don't need to think too much. The educational concepts and methods between the two countries are different, and some discomfort is normal. The school still attaches great importance to you. The school leaders have also stated that they will not dismiss you due to this incident. But I will definitely give you some verbal criticism, otherwise I won't be able to convince everyone. Let's go back to our own school to study. It's a pity. Upon hearing Tong Ying comfort him, Lu Xuan smiled and said lightly, Don't worry, Teacher Tong, I understand all of this. On the phone, Lu Xuan's voice sounded calm and seemed unaffected by the repatriation incident, which made Tong Ying, who had been worried, calm down. That's good, Lu Xuan. So you can pack your luggage and I'll handle the procedures here. Once everything is ready, I'll call you to let you know. Okay, thank you, Teacher Tong. You're welcome, goodbye. Goodbye. After hanging up the phone, Lu Xuan felt mixed feelings in his heart. Whether it's your own university or not, even if the whole world is watching your own jokes, your alma mater will at least stand up for you on the surface and not smash your plate. After all, they are students sent out by their alma mater. Although they may feel that they have lost face to the school this time, they can only try their best to maintain it and cannot add insult to injury, which will cause greater damage to the school's reputation. Ding, report to the master. There are random tasks that can be completed to earn rewards. Is it triggered? Although he didn't know what task it was, Lu Xuan still decided to trigger it. The reason is simple, the rewards given by the system are quite good and practical. As the saying goes, having more skills doesn't put pressure on oneself. What's wrong with mastering more skills? Trigger. Yes. With Lu Xuan's command, the system presented the task content in front of him. Glory return. Please turn around the domestic fishing vessels and return to your motherland with great honor when returning. After completion, the owner can receive a level A reward. The reward is divided into 3 levels from high to low. Level A, Level B, and Level C. Looking at the task content and rewards, Lu Xuan fell into contemplation. This system did not specify how to do it specifically to bring great glory. If that's the case, there will be a lot of room for operation. Blowing up the Statue of Liberty and returning home is a great honor. Alternatively, sinking the M Army's aircraft carrier formation and returning to China would be a great honor. Alternatively, placing a red flag on the top of the M country's Defense Department building would be even more honorable. But Lu Xuan touched his chin, and the difficulty level of these operations was too high. Glory returns home. How can we achieve it? P.S. Old author's new book, Seeking Flowers, recommendation tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3, Below, Bobby. Big Root. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3, Below, Bobby. Big Root. Lu Xuan, holding his arm, tapped his temples with his index finger, pondering over countermeasures. Suddenly, Lu Xuan's spiritual light flashed, and a plan surged into his heart. Why do I have to explode or destroy something? I can also take something. I have to take a flight for more than 10 hours to return to my home country, and I'm exhausted. If I were to fly back with the most advanced F-22 fifth-generation stealth fighter in M-country and also the world's most advanced, then a few hours would be enough. And, driving back one of the world's most advanced stealth fighters should be enough honor, right? If it were in the past, Lu Xuan wouldn't dare to think about this matter. But now with the support of the system, Lu Xuan, who was already bold and adventurous, had to come up with some work. Do whatever you say, get started. Lu Xuan is an action-oriented person. After considering the feasibility of this plan, he immediately took action. He has 48 hours of his own time, and in his current location in Dalhousie, North Carolina, there happens to be an M Army stationed. On the previous military open day, the stationed M Air Force also invited local residents to watch the flight performance of F-22 fighter jets. We have all the advantages of the times and the land, and now we only need Lu Xuan, our own person. No one is helping now, you must come by yourself. Everything needs to be fast. Lu Xuan quickly stood up and rushed to the computer. The first step is to enter the Air Force base in Dalhousie. It's not possible to enter with such a swagger, you must give yourself a legitimate identity and reason. If it were before, then Lu Xuan would be stuck in this first step and have no choice. But now, Lu Xuan has mastered the world's top hacking technology, and it should not be difficult to forge an identity for himself. I saw Lu Xuan sitting in front of the computer, typing the code with a clattering sound. He, who used to be not very proficient in computers, now looks at the code appearing rapidly on the screen, just like reading children's books. Quickly, Lu Xuan hacked into the military registration management system of the Ministry of National Defense of M-country. Bobby, Big Root. This is a fake name given to himself by Lu Xuan, and then he quickly got up and found the prop used for the makeup ball at the time, the beard, from his wardrobe, and stuck it on himself. After sticking it together, Lu Xuan picked up his phone and took a selfie against the white wall. Later, he uploaded this selfie to the military registration management system of the M Army and repeated the operation. 2 minutes later, Bobby Dagan, a bearded Air Force officer with the rank of major, entered the military registration system of the M Army. Now M June uses electronic ID, so Lu Xuan only needs to integrate the data onto his phone, without the need for a physical ID card. After obtaining a fake identity, Lu Xuan once again hacked into the global communication system of the M Army. On the terminal server, a fake military command text was created. I hereby order Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Bobby Dagan to fly an F-22 Raptor fighter jet to the Hangzhou military base in Neon Province at the Dale Thumb Air Force Base for air refueling via the Guangdao Naval Base. Special Order. The reason for conducting aerial refueling at the Guangdao Naval Base is that even if the fuel tank of the F-22 is fully loaded, it is not enough to fly to Kyushu. Therefore, it is necessary to refuel twice during the journey. Lu Xuan has a very meticulous mind, taking into account all the details. After forging the military command text, Lu Xuan sent it to various units through the cloud. At this time, the Dalamo Air Force Base, Guangdao Naval Base, Hangzhou Military Base, and 3 military bases all received this order. The personnel information of Bobby Dagan, the security code of the military order, and the verification of the server are all correct. The M Army at each military base did not detect any abnormalities. After completing all of this, Lu Xuan never stopped. He is well aware that although his hacking skills are top-notch, the technology and information department of M-country is not a fool, and there are also many powerful program experts. Your fake information can be used for a period of time, but it will eventually be discovered. So time waits for no one. We must hurry back to Kyushu's mother's embrace in the F-22 before being discovered. Subsequently, without delay, Lu Xuan hurriedly checked his salute, brought some necessary documents, and then brought a few pieces of chocolate. Driving a fighter jet for a long time, under the huge overload, the pilot will starve. Everything was ready, and Lu Xuan took out all the unnecessary things in the room and threw them into the trash can without leaving any trace. At this moment, with a beard and sunglasses on, he looked like someone else. Later, he went directly to the nearby motorcycle shop and bought a motorcycle. At this time, the traffic in Dalhousie City is very congested, and driving or taking a taxi is very slow. Now time is Lu Xuan's biggest enemy, so he chooses to drive a motorcycle. Woo 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 woo. Lu Xuan twisted the accelerator and the motorcycle let out a roar. The horsepower is good. Lu Xuan exclaimed in admiration, then put on the accelerator and the motorcycle rushed out, shuttling left and right on the road, very agile. This superb driving technique makes the M-country people driving around exclaim, God. Quickly, Lu Xuan arrived at the Daeilbu Air Force Base. Looking around, the protective walls and high-voltage power grid of this Air Force Base, as well as the circular watchtowers on all sides, give a very oppressive feeling. After taking a few glances, Lu Xuan quickly parked the car to the side and walked towards the entrance of the military base in a meteoric manner. On the surface, Lu Xuan was very calm and composed. But in reality, a group of people with inner tension. P.S. Old author's new book, Seeking Flowers, recommendation tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. F-22 takes off, Glory returns home. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. F-22 takes off, Glory returns home. This is natural. You should know that this is a heavily guarded M Army base, and any carelessness can lead to arrest. Moreover, Lu Xuan is now alone without any assistance. But Lu Xuan, who had always been restless, enjoyed the intense adrenaline rush. This is what is called pain and happiness. When Lu Xuan walked to the entrance of the Air Force Base, the soldier standing guard immediately walked out of the transparent outpost. Lu Xuan looked around and saw that the soldier was holding an M4A1 automatic rifle, wearing a green digital camouflage suit, a bulletproof vest, and a secure individual communication system, all equipped to the point of being armed to the teeth. "Sir, please show your ID, otherwise stop." The soldier on guard reached out a hand and blocked Lu Xuan's way. Lu Xuan didn't speak, not even those sunglasses. He calmly took out his phone and opened the previously cracked M.Army identity verification program, displaying the fake identity ID he had previously created. After seeing Lu Xuan show his ID, the soldiers on guard led him to a location at the door where he was confirmed by the identity verification system. After verifying Lu Xuan's ID code at the scanning point, the soldier saluted him and respectfully opened the door to let him in. "It's done." As Lu Xuan walked in, he secretly exclaimed in his heart. After successfully entering the Dalamoy Air Force Base, Lu Xuan can see the airport and terminal in the distance. At this moment, F-16D fighter jets are preparing to take off on the runway for daily training. While observing, a Nigerian soldier driving an airport commuter car approached and invited Lu Xuan to board. After Lu Xuan got on the car, Nigel soldiers escorted him to the terminal. After entering the terminal, the person who received Lu Xuan was Lieutenant Colonel Wokaran of the same rank as him. "Bobby, Major Dagan." Colonel Wokaran saluted. "Hello." Lu Xuan pretended to bow back. "The ground crew has prepared the plane and you can depart at any time. However, before departure, I need to check your task code. This is a tradition of the Army, where before each task is executed, the handed-over soldiers must check the task code to prevent errors." Lu Xuan, who had already hacked the Army command system, naturally knew about it. He said calmly, "The task code is Honey Badger 56. Upon hearing Lu Xuan finish speaking, Colonel Wokaran bowed to him and nodded, "That's right, good luck with your mission." "Thank you." Lu Xuan replied falsely. In this way, Lu Xuan successfully bypassed the airport command and, led by ground soldiers, entered the parking garage. After entering the shutdown warehouse, Lu Xuan saw an F-22 fighter jet painted in silver gray, quietly parked there. The ground crew on the side are conducting the final inspection. Cart intake duct, integrated cockpit, variable F-119 afterburner engine. Looking at this fierce beast in the air, Lu Xuan felt a bit passionate. This is a romance that only men understand. Wait a little longer, I'll take you back to my homeland. Let our country study your skills carefully. The ground crew on the side, with the highest rank being captain. So after seeing Lu Xuan, everyone saluted him one after another. "Do your job well," Lu Xuan said to them in a commanding tone, and everyone respectfully replied, "Yes." No one could have imagined that such a bearded Air Force lieutenant colonel was a fake. And it's just such a counterfeit who will soon drive away their most advanced stealth fighter. With the help of the ground crew, Lu Xuan put on an all.in.1 anti-G suit. After confirming that all the accessories were complete, Lu Xuan, guided by the ground crew, arrived at the cockpit of the F-22 fighter jet. At this point, the ground crew had already set up and climbed the ladder. Lu Xuan helped himself climb the ladder and slowly climbed up, entering the cockpit of F-22. Looking at the 4 monitors up and down in front of him, as well as the simplified buttons on the dashboard, Lu Xuan exclaimed in his heart, "The workmanship is good." At this moment, Lu Xuan had no confusion in the face of such a complex and precise cockpit. Because he has the skill of piloting a full range of fighter jets are naturally easy for him to grasp. A few hours ago, Lu Xuan couldn't even imagine that he would one day pilot an F-22 fighter jet. But now he is already sitting in the cabin, ready to take off at any time. After putting on the driver's belt, oxygen mask, and helmet with sights, Lu Xuan made a thumbs-up gesture and then closed the cockpit. Watching the integrated cockpit cover slowly fall, the ground crew saluted Lu Xuan one after another as a farewell gesture. In their view, Lu Xuan is a warrior who will go on a mission. He is a warrior of M-country. And they didn't know that at this moment, Lu Xuan was a big scammer who wanted to bring this fighter plane back to the country. Lu Xuan slowly increased the speed of the plane and then, under the command of the instructed personnel, entered the runway. The wind speed is normal, the birds have been driven away, the engine ignition is normal, and we can take off. After hearing the sound of the terminal coming from his earphones, Lu Xuan pressed the engine booster switch. With a loud bang, two F-119 engines spewed orange-blue exhaust flames. Under the thrust of such a powerful engine, the F-22 fighter jet piloted by Lu Xuan shot forward with a whoosh, like a cheetah hunting. At this moment, the ground service soldiers of M-country standing on both sides of the runway stood in a straight line, standing tall and upright. When they saw F-22 accelerating forward, they raised their right hands in unison and respectfully saluted the F-22 driven by Lu Xuan. Our warriors from M-country have set out. Wishing our warriors victory. Every time I see our country's warriors go on a mission, I feel very proud. Go on, M-country warrior. The ground soldiers looked at the F-22 fighter jet piloted by Lu Xuan, who was far away, and sent their beautiful wishes one after another. P.S. Old author's new book, Seeking Flowers, recommendation tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Goodbye, young master has withdrawn. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Goodbye, young master has withdrawn. Lu Xuan, holding the joystick, slowly pulled according to the speed of the aircraft. Boom. After a burst of acceleration, F-22 rushed into the sky. After the fighter jet was launched into the sky, the tremendous overload force it generated made Lu Xuan feel a bit uncomfortable, but after strengthening his body, he quickly returned to normal. Lu Xuan glanced down at the shrinking airport on the ground, then at the white clouds and blue sky, feeling the warm sunshine. Goodbye, M-countrymen, the young master has withdrawn. After silently reciting a sentence, Lu Xuan pressed the power button again and F-22 suddenly rushed forward. The avionics of F-22 represents the highest technology in M-country, so its level of autonomous driving is very high. Lu Xuan only needs to make some adjustments and the plane can fly automatically. This is also the reason why many M-Army pilots who are used to flying F-14 and F-15 fighter jets complain that the F-22 lacks a sense of control. However, Lu Xuan really likes this feature and enjoys it. Isn't it fragrant to free up his hands? So, Lu Xuan piloted the F-22 fighter jet and headed all the way towards the Guangdao Naval Base. After a few more hours of navigation, Lu Xuan had reached the airspace over Guangdao Naval Base. As expected by Lu Xuan, the fuel tank of F-22 has already issued a low fuel warning. However, due to the early issuance of false military orders, a KC.46A refueling aircraft at the Guangdao Naval Base has already taken off early. Ghost Ride 1, my plane has been included in your radar range, have you received it? The pilot of the KC.46A tanker called out the code of the Lu Xuan aircraft. Pelican 3, it has been detected. Lu Xuan opened the encrypted call channel and then sent his data link over. After obtaining the data link, the KC.46A fuel dispenser can accurately locate Lu Xuan's location. Soon, the KC.46A tanker arrived over F-22. Seeing that the fuel dispenser had arrived, Lu Xuan opened the fuel supply port on the back of the F-22 fighter jet. However, the KC.46A fuel dispenser slowly extended the fuel pipe, carefully aligned it, and successfully connected it, starting to refuel F-22. Sufficient fuel. After seeing the fuel indicator light return to full green, Lu Xuan nodded. The aerial refueling is over. Good luck, Ghost Rider 1. After the pilot of the KC.46A tanker completed the call, he retracted the fuel pipe, then raised the altitude and left the route of the Lu Xuan aircraft. The fuel has been filled up, and Lu Xuan's flight has no worries. Subsequently, Lu Xuan activated the booster mode again, urging the F-22 Raptor fighter jet to fly towards the Fukuzu Air Force Base in Kyushu province. The distance from Guangdao to Kyushu's airspace is closer. It can be reached at a flight speed of F-22 in less than 2 hours. 2 hours later, Kyushu Gufuzu Air Force Command Terminal. Commander Chui Linwei received an emergency call from the radar control room. Report to Colonel Chui, we are using 2-frequency M-wave radar to detect unidentified flying objects in the eastern direction. The signal is intermittent, making it impossible to determine the identity of the other party. Upon hearing this report, Chui Linwei quickly put down the documents in his hand and rushed to the radar control room. Looking at the intermittent signals on the radar signal screen, Chui Linwei frowned. We have not received any advance notice from another country's aircraft, so it can be concluded that the intrusion was illegal. And the signal is so weak, I'm afraid the radar reflection area of the opponent's fighter jet is very small, which is a hard nut to crack. Command Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 to take off immediately and intercept. Chui Linwei immediately ordered. Yes. The operator reacted quickly and immediately pressed the readiness bell. Ring, ring, ring. A hurried bell rang through the Fukuzu Air Force Base. The drivers of Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 quickly put on their anti-G suits and rushed towards the apron. At this moment, 2 J.10D aircraft have been tested on the apron. Drivers Yunbao 1 and 2 board immediately and take off at full speed. After a brief flight, Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 have approached the unidentified flying object. Cloud Leopard 1 and 2, don't act recklessly. First, approach and observe to confirm the other party's identity. To prevent interference, temporarily close the terminal call channel. Chui Linwei, standing on the tower, held the intercom and calmly ordered. Received on Cloud Leopard first. Cloud Leopard 2 received it. After receiving the order, the 2 J.10D fighter jets changed their formation, with Cloud Leopard 2 as a wingman and hidden below Cloud Leopard 1 for quick response. Drive over with extra force. If the opponent changes course, I'll do the Pugachev Cobra maneuver, pull back, and you take the opportunity to bite. Understood. After confirming the tactics, the drivers of Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 immediately exchanged data links. After finishing all of this, the two quickly pressed the force button. The J.10D fighter jet, which has just been equipped with a turbofan .15 engine, has the highest power among the 3.5 generation fighter jets. Quickly, Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 shortened their distance from the unidentified aircraft. Pull up, pay attention to the tail spin, we are about to conduct a visual inspection. Understood. Cloud Leopard 1 and 2, with their boosters turned off, began to climb altitude so that they could work from a high altitude, overlook the unidentified flying object, and confirm what type of aircraft it was. 2 kilometers. 1 kilometer. As a wingman, Cloud Leopard 2 looked at the indicator points on the radar and accurately reported the distance. At this moment, fine beads of sweat were oozing from the foreheads of drivers Yunbao number 1 and number 2. We are about to visually confront the enemy and see what they really are. Encountering enemies, can already be visually observed. At the moment when the radar indicator points overlap, the drivers of Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 look down at the same time. I'll go. There, that's F-22 from M-country. Really? Suddenly, everyone was shocked in their hearts. Through the clouds below, Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 can clearly see an F-22 coated with silver-gray stealth paint flying at the same speed as them. For a moment, the pilots of the fighter jets were facing a great enemy, their faces solemn, and they felt a hint of abnormality. My heart was greatly shaken. Because the world's most advanced fifth-generation fighter jets are not so easy to see. Why did M-country's most advanced fifth-generation fighter jets appear here? What do they want to do? Do you want to go to war against our Kyushu kingdom? P.S. Old author's new book, Seeking Flowers, recommendation tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. New book seeking support, data explosion starting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I think this idea is quite satisfying. The author has also written tens of thousands of books and is confident in their updates and quality. Now let's see the support of all the readers. The first day data is particularly important as it relates to the subsequent grades. As this book has saved manuscripts and cannot be edited by Unix, it needs to be written continuously. Therefore, the first day grades must be diligently sought, otherwise subsequent website recommendations will not keep up. The requirement is not high, as long as it can be achieved before tomorrow afternoon. 5,000 flowers, plus 5 watches. 500 evaluation votes, plus 5 changes. 3 people give a reward, plus 5 watches. 50 book reviews, plus 5 updates. Charge. Seeking various data support. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. What is the intention of this fighter jet? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. What is the intention of this fighter jet? At this moment, the pilots of Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 couldn't believe that they were actually here and saw the most advanced F-22 stealth fighter of M-country. It's not that Cloud Leopard drivers are uncommon, but rather because M-country doesn't send F-22 to approach Kyushu country, which was a tacit agreement between both families. Because with the explosive development of Kyushu in recent years, the gap in weapons and equipment between Kyushu and M has been further narrowed. Of course, there are still many gaps. Although the F-22 is a fighter with stealth capabilities, Kyushu is a world leader in dual-frequency M-wave radar and anti-stealth overlapping radar masking technology. So he's old M, and he doesn't dare to easily let F-22 make a peripheral landing flight. Once detected by this radar, F-22 will expose more secrets. And one more thing, the characteristic of stealth fighter jets is that they can penetrate stealthily. If old M really uses F-22 to break through and test the bottom of Kyushu Kingdom, it would be a big death. Easy to understand. If you, Mr. M, are entangled with your little brother's country and use some F-15 and F-16 fighter jets that do not have stealth capabilities to intercept the incoming flight, both sides can detect it, and this is the apparent struggle. The method of fighting between the pilots on both sides is not enough. But if you want to bring an invisible fighter jet, it's clear that you want to break through, prepare for the future, and don't want to come to me openly or have ulterior motives behind the scenes. This kind of behavior will never be tolerated by Kyushu Kingdom. With the current strength of Kyushu Kingdom, if we really tear our skin, M-country won't be able to take advantage. So, at this moment, when I saw F-22 and 2 pilots from Yunbao in the nearby airspace, they were both somewhat surprised. But after all, the 2 are fighter pilots who are 1 in a million and can memorize 100,000 words of aerial intelligence. Soon, Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 began implementing countermeasures. We will report this situation first, and then closely follow the stealth fighter to fly. You still need to monitor from above. I'll fly behind him and don't use the fire control to aim or shout to drive away, so as not to startle the enemy. Yes, everything is waiting for instructions from superiors. Okay. After confirming the tactics, wingman Cloud Leopard 2 made a Herbert wall kick and quickly completed a 180-degree turn in a few seconds, maneuvering at high angular speed and heading towards the rear of F-22 for covert surveillance. Although the opponent was a well-known F-22 stealth fighter, the two Cloud Leopard pilots were not afraid. It's time to meet through narrow paths, stick to it and fight fiercely, that's the way out. However, the two of them were still puzzled. At such a distance, the F-22 equipped with active phase control radar should have already detected them. But the other party remained motionless, which puzzled the clouded leopards. However, regardless of the purpose, this stealth fighter has not yet flown into the airspace warning line. If this stealth fighter still hasn't responded before flying in, the two pilots of Cloud Leopard coincidentally adjusted the PL.12 air-to-air combat missile to a ready-to-launch state on the touchscreen. Meanwhile, Commander Chui Lin-Wei at the ground terminal received a call from Cloud Leopard 1. Guarding the wall, please answer when you hear me. Upon hearing the code name of Yun Bao calling the command center, Chui Lin-Wei quickly ordered the connection. Guardian Wall received, please speak, please speak. Chui Lin-Wei grabbed the intercom and quickly shouted. Report, it was visually detected that the enemy aircraft was an M-country F22 stealth fighter. Invisible fighter jets. Upon hearing these words, Chui Lin-Wei and others instantly felt their scalp tingling. 1. F-22 stealth fighter, are you sure? Chui Lin-Wei adjusted his breathing and checked. Target confirmation, Cloud Leopard 2 and I are tracking. Maintain the tracking posture. Chui Lin-Wei quickly reacted and glanced at the trajectory map on the large screen. Before reaching the airspace warning line, I will give you a reply. Yes. After finishing the contact, Chui Lin-Wei dared not neglect and quickly reported the situation to the Fuzhou Military Region and Air Force Command. Kyushu province is currently divided into 5 major war zones, and there are several sub-controlled military regions under the jurisdiction of these zones. The Fuzhou Military Region is one of them. Situation code. Kwafu. What Chui Lin-Wei said to the operator is a code that describes the urgency of the situation, and the operator uses it to determine whether a higher level response can be made. Kwafu is the code name for the most urgent situation. The operator didn't dare to slack off and immediately connected Chui Lin-Wei's communication to the Fuzhou Air Force Command Center. At this time, Zhao Haiming, the Air Force commander of the Fuzhou Military Region, and Wang Chong, the deputy commander, saw the emergency signal in the office and immediately opened the contact screen. Commander, Deputy Commander. After the communication connection, Chui Lin-Wei on the big screen immediately saluted. Alright, talk about it. Zhao Haiming said sternly. Report. In the northwest direction, an M-made F-22 stealth fighter jet was discovered approaching our airspace warning line. After confirming its accuracy, our 2 J.10D fighters are closely tracking. After the report, Chui Lin-Wei immediately uploaded the real-time trajectory map to the left side of the screen. Looking at the trajectory map, Zhao Haiming and Wang Chong's eyebrows instantly stood up. But after the two exchanged a glance, their expressions did not panic. Surprisingly, stealth fighter jets were deployed for close-range flights. Do you want to take action? Deputy Commander Wang Chong frowned. The key issue now is that the other party's intention is unclear. Zhao Haiming's eyes were like knives. Our J.10D, although powerful, is tracking the F-22 and cannot be undetected. Since we know our fighter jet is tracking, this F-22 is not evading or seeking combat, it must have some intentions. P.S. Old author's new book, Seeking Flowers, recommendation tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7, Captain, don't shoot, it's me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7, Captain, Don't Shoot, It's Me. The words of Zhao Haiming, commander of the Fuzhou Air Force, were approved by Deputy Commander Wang Chong. The situation is not clear now, any action must be taken with caution. After less than a minute of contemplation, Commander Zhao Haiming decisively ordered. Let our military pilots shout and drive away first. If the other party does not respond and insists on crossing the airspace warning line, then shoot down the dog day for me. At the same time, inform the J.20 fighter jets undergoing high-altitude training to quickly return and enter a state of readiness. Looking at Zhao Haiming's resolute face, Wang Chong's face showed a murderous aura. Speaking of thousands of words, no matter what your intentions are, breaking into my airspace on F-22 is a provocative act. When you reach my doorstep, I won't beat you up. The situation was so great that Cui Linwei dared not neglect it. After saying, yes, he immediately conveyed the order to Yunbao 1 and Yunbao 2. After receiving the order, the two pilots of Cloud Leopard immediately responded. I shout to drive away, if this dog day doesn't respond, we'll fire. Understood. After confirming the enemy's response, driver Yunbao 1 adjusted the radio communication signal, switched to the public call channel, and then began shouting at the F-22. Unknown aircraft ahead, I am Kyushu National Air Force. You are about to enter our airspace, leave immediately, leave immediately. This is PLA Air Force speaking. You are. After shouting through the public channel, Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 were waiting for a response from the unidentified aircraft. The other party remained silent. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. The airspace warning line is getting closer and closer, but the other party still hasn't responded. At this point, the driver of Cloud Leopard 1 and 2 has opened the safety of the air-to-air close-range combat missile, placed his finger on the launch button, and is ready to launch. On the ground, Zhao Haiming and all other Air Force officers and soldiers were holding their breath and waiting for the situation to develop. 8 seconds passed, and F-22 was only 10 kilometers away from the airspace warning line. For fighter jets, 10 kilometers is just a blink of an eye. I didn't say anything, fight. Just as Yunbao 1.2 was preparing to launch the PL.12 air-to-air missile as a preemptive measure. Suddenly, a man's voice came from the intercom of F-22, ringing on the public channel and entering the headphones of Kyushu Air Force personnel. Captain, don't shoot, it's my own person, it's me. Ha! Upon hearing this nonsensical shout, the Air Force personnel on the scene in Kyushu province were collectively confused. Captain, don't shoot, it's me. This is a meme that only Kyushu people understand. Only Lu Xuan, a fearless and generous bad boy, dared to make such a joke in such a tense moment. This passage of Kyushu Mandarin by Lu Xuan has brought great shock to the soldiers of the Fuzhou Air Force. What's the situation? This kid can actually speak Kyushu Mandarin. The soldiers in the ground radar control room looked bewildered. More than just being able to speak, this is so eloquent that it's even more standard than Kyushu people. It's not bad at all, I even recognize the dialect flavor. No, has M-country started training their pilots to speak Mandarin now? Like the radar soldiers, the faces of the two Cloud Leopard pilots were also filled with astonishment. What's the situation? How could Kyushu Mandarin still be heard from the F-22 fighter jet? And at this tense moment of confrontation, what does the other pilot mean by saying this? What exactly does the other pilot want to do with such confusing behavior? This bizarre situation makes everyone wonder why the stealth fighter pilots of the Mi Army have seen the Kyushu sketch. After an immense shock, Cloud Leopard 2 slowly regained its sanity. He immediately reminded the pilot of Cloud Leopard 1. Quick, verify your identity with him. Upon hearing the reminder, pilot Yunbao 1 immediately adjusted his mindset, calmed down again, and prepared to shout. The division of labor between Yunbao No. 1 and No. 2 is clear, with number 1 responsible for shouting and number 2 responsible for alerting. In case of any unexpected situation during the shouting period, the responsible pilot may not be able to react in time and delay the operation. 2 pairs of fighter jets ahead. Yunbao 1 adopted the Kyushu style name. I am the Kyushu National Air Force, and you have entered our Kyushu Defense Air Identification Zone. Report your nationality identification code and flight purpose. This is PL Air Force. You have. Although knowing that the other party could speak Kyushu Mandarin, to prevent accidents, pilot Yunbao 1 still spoke bilingual. At this moment, Lu Xuan felt a surge of emotion upon hearing the familiar Kyushu Mandarin. I only found out after going out that this familiar native language sounds really pleasant. In fact, Lu Xuan had already detected it on the radar when these 2 J.10D planes flew over. The reason why Lu Xuan waited for a long time to shout a response was completely a misunderstanding. Due to the fact that the oxygen generation system and avionics system of F-22 share the same electromechanical module, there may be occasional power supply delays and minor malfunctions that prevent oxygen generation. If this small malfunction is not eliminated, Lu Xuan will quickly suffocate to death in anaerobic conditions. They have all arrived at the doorstep and are dying. Nima can't justify it. So Lu Xuan needs to concentrate and solve the problem by turning off the left engine and restarting the drainage. And one more thing, the radio reception protocol used by the M fighter jet on the public channel is different, so Lu Xuan needs to adjust it. Coming and going delayed the communication between Yunbao and them. But now it's okay, all the problems have been ruled out. P.S. Old author's new book, Seeking Flowers, recommendation tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Kyushu people of the Eight Canons, pure, plus. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8, Kyushu people from the 8 classics, pure, with added chapters, thank you for your support. After all the issues were resolved, Lu Xuan immediately pressed the onboard communication system and opened the radio public channel receiving port. Hello, I am from Kyushu, and the purpose of my flight this time is to go home. Going home. A Kyushu native, piloting the most advanced stealth combat of M-country, arrived at Kyushu's airspace and said he was going home. The unfolding of this novel caught the Air Force officers and soldiers of Kyushu off guard. Are you from Kyushu? Cloud Leopard No. 1 stuttered and immediately resumed his serious tone. You are still from Kyushu, M nationality. The inquiry from Cloud Leopard 1 is very rigorous. You should know that Kyushu people and M-Kyushu people are not the same concept. The Kyushu people of the 8 classics are pure. Lu Xuan, who was not nervous, deliberately used a dialect when saying, pure. This very standard Kyushu Mandarin, as well as the hilarious dialect, made the Air Force officers laugh and cry. However, although Lu Xuan claimed to be from Kyushu, he could still speak the authentic and round Kyushu language, using the Kyushu meme. But the Air Force's officers and soldiers still maintain the greatest vigilance. For military personnel, all doubts should be preserved until the situation is thoroughly understood. In the history of war, there have been many bloody lessons of confusing, pretending to be identity, and then launching sudden attacks. So Yunbao 1, 2, and other ground and Air Force soldiers did not slack off and maintained the greatest hostility towards the F-22 fighter jet piloted by Lu Xuan. After all, it's unbelievable for a Kyushu national to be able to fly the most advanced stealth fighter on their own and cross the strait back to their homeland. F pairs of fighter jets, whether you are from Kyushu or not. Please leave our Kyushu airspace immediately and refrain from any deviant actions. When the pilot of Cloud Leopard 1 shouted these words, his hand was still on the launch button of the air-to-air combat missile, and he did not slack off at all. In the face of the situation where Kyushu pilots lack trust, Lu Xuan can actually understand. The Kyushu National Air Force is a careful ship to sail for thousands of years. After all, their own situation is too special. Put it in anyone's ear, it's like listening to a heavenly book. I can't believe it at all. So, after thinking for a moment, Lu Xuan thought of something to pay attention to and said, I am now sending out an active radar wave to ask you to lock my position. Let your anti-aircraft missiles or something, lock me in, and once there's a situation, fire and it's done. Don't you have to worry. This proposal is tantamount to suicide, but Lu Xuan said it naturally. This stunned the Air Force officers and soldiers of Kyushu once again. Good guy, this kid is really fierce. While speaking, Lu Xuan suddenly saw a call request coming from the left display screen. Upon seeing the channel code, Lu Xuan frowned slightly. This is the call code for M-Army, please check the call source again. That's right, this call request was sent from M-country's Air Force base. Seeing this situation, Lu Xuan thought for a moment and then on the public channel, said to Yunbao 1 and 2. So what? Two Air Force brothers, Chuan Jiangwo's side, called me. I'll talk to them first, let's talk later. After speaking, Lu Xuan cut off the call. Listening to a burst of blind sound coming from the earphones, the Cloud Leopard duo looked at each other dumbfounded again and looked at each other from afar. Chuan Jiangwo's side called him, is this special? It is obvious that the two pilots of Cloud Leopard did not understand Lu Xuan's temper and did not know that he had a moment of silence. However, the plane is about to reach the warning line and this situation must be reported immediately. Yunbao number 1 immediately adjusted the communication channel and then called. Guardian Wall, please answer when you hear me. Fuzhou Air Force Base, Command Room. Air Force Commander Zhao Haiming, who lit a cigarette, and Deputy Commander Wang Chong looked solemnly at the big screen, listening to Cui Linwei's emergency report. After our personnel shouted to drive us away, the F-22 fighter jet. Surprisingly, it replied to us in Kyushu Mandarin. Kyushu Mandarin. Zhao Haiming and Wang Chong raised their eyebrows with a puzzled expression on their faces. Yes, it's Kyushu Mandarin, and it's spoken accurately and fluently, very standard. Upon hearing this, Zhao Haiming knocked on his cigarette ash and took a deep breath, saying, Old M is really using every means possible now. He has taught the driver our Mandarin. That, Commander. Cui Linwei hesitated for a moment before continuing. He not only speaks Kyushu Mandarin, but also dialects, and even. He can recite the lines of the 90-year Spring Festival Gala sketch. Ah! Zhao Haiming and Wang Chong were puzzled. Moreover, this kid claims to be from our Kyushu country, and the purpose of driving the F in pairs this time is to go home. After hearing these words, Zhao Haiming and Wang Chong stared, and their facial muscles immediately tightened. If they were still confused about Lu Xuan's behavior before, then now they are extremely shocked. How could this be possible? Deputy Commander Wang Chong excitedly put his hand down and sizzled the cigarette butt, then loudly said. M-country's F-pair stealth fighter jets are not even allowed to be touched by Kyushu people, even if they are M-Kyushu people. P.S. Old author's new book, Seeking Flowers, recommendation tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9, Grandpa here, with added chapters, thank you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9, Grandpa here, with added chapters, thank you for your support. This old M country claims to be the most non-discriminatory country in the world. But in fact, is it really like this, Mr. M? A researcher once conducted an experiment and invited a group of people to participate. In front of them stood an old member of the Onassis family and a southern farmer. The experimenter told everyone that the person on the left is from the Onassis family. Although this person is uneducated and does nothing wrong, eating, drinking, prostitution, and gambling, everyone still treats him with envy. Subsequently, the researchers informed everyone that the person on the right was a farmer from the south who was hardworking, amiable. But some M people still instinctively call him redneck. This dual standard is self-evident and permeates at all levels. Taking the military of M-country as an example, some top-level weapons and equipment will not be operated by soldiers of other ethnicities. For example, the most advanced stealth fighter, F-22. Since entering service in 2005, there has not been a pilot of any other descent, and he has always been a purebred M national. This tradition has been maintained until now. So what Vice Commander Wang Chong said is the truth. Even if you have M nationality, but are not a pure M citizen. If you want to drive my M's F-22, that's just a dream. Stay where it's cool, and I'll give you an F-16D model. That's enough fun. So in this situation, Commander Zhao Haiming and Deputy Commander Wang Chong did not believe Lu Xuan's words at all. Call out. Zhao Haiming took a deep breath and let the smoke burn to the end. Then, he extinguished the cigarette butt in the ashtray and asked Cui Linwei with a calm expression. How much longer do they have to fly? Cui Linwei, who had already calculated, said without hesitation, they are all in cruise control mode now, and it will take about 8 minutes to arrive. Zhao Haiming nodded meaningfully. Don't think about it, there must be fraud here. Wang Chong said decisively, you came without saying a word. Even if you want to join the army, there should be an advance notice. I think they deliberately used this trick to explore our situation. As for this pilot, we also need to be careful. Vice Commander Wang Chong's thinking has been recognized by Commander Zhao Haiming. Without reason, a stealth fighter suddenly arrived, and the reason for this is naturally not so simple. At this moment, Lu Xuan, who was far above the sky and thousands of miles away, would surely cry and laugh at Commander Zhao's true thoughts, I really want to go home. However, now, Commander Zhao and his team, who are unaware of the truth, still need to consider the overall situation and make the right choice. For unknown reasons, this F-pair is likely carrying an electronic warfare pod, as Deputy Commander Wang Chong said, to locate the position of the Kyushu Kingdom radar. If that's the case, the positions of shore-based radar and air defense missiles must not be exposed. Commander Zhao Haiming, whose mind was spinning fast, immediately had an idea. Get me the frozen sea fleet. A few minutes later, 2 Type 055 missile destroyers, which happened to be conducting training missions in the nearshore waters, received notification from their superiors. Zhao Haiming, the commander of the Air Force of the Fuzhou military region, requested them to turn on the air defense radar, search for an incoming enemy aircraft, and lock in the air defense missile. After receiving the data link from the shore-based command post, the active phased array radars of the 2 destroyers immediately began searching. Quickly, they locked onto the F-22 stealth fighter piloted by Lu Xuan, the Haihongki.16 anti-aircraft missile in the vertical launch system, and set it on standby. Report to the captain, 1 shot locked. Report to the captain, 2nd engine locked. Okay, wait for the superior's order. 2 destroyers will launch a total of 4 Haihongki.16, and if hit at this range, the aircraft will directly transform into flying coffins. At the same time, the M Army stationed in Neon Country and the Air Force Command Center of Hangshua's military base were also busy. They, like the Fuzhou military region, are also busy working on the F-22 stealth fighter piloted by Lu Xuan. According to the instructions issued by the previous command center and the current time, the F-22 stealth fighter piloted by Lu Xuan, which took off from the Dalhousie Air Force Base in North Carolina, should have arrived. From the flight trajectory map, it can be seen that this F-22 has completely deviated from the route and is heading towards Kyushu. In fact, before this, there were also fighter jets who came to exchange defenses and would receive temporary missions to fly around the airspace edges of neighboring countries in order to quickly familiarize themselves. But this time it's a bit unusual. This F-22 fighter jet is flying too deep and is about to cross the security cordon and enter Kyushu airspace. Entering the airspace of another country without any prior notice is considered a provocative act of war. However, even so, Honshu-hi Air Force Command Center and M-Army Commander Sidley did not take it seriously. "Sir, is this F-22 a bit too deep?" The operator pointed to the track map and asked. "It's nothing," Sidley said nonchalantly. "Normally, this is F-22 with super stealth performance that regular radar cannot capture. Previously, in West Africa and Central Eastern countries, our F-22 even flew directly into their airspace, but it was still undetected." Commander Sidley's tone was filled with arrogance. "But, sir, this is Kyushu province," the operator whispered as a reminder. "What about Kyushu Kingdom?" Sidley's eyes tilted. "Soldier, be brave. You serve in the world's first army." After speaking, Sidley glanced at the trajectory map and analyzed, "I guess this F-22 was intentional. Close contact with Kyushu's outer air defense circle, and as soon as they were about to enter airspace, they suddenly turned on the radio and actively exposed themselves. Wait until Kyushu Kingdom responds and then directly drive the booster to leave. Kyushu Kingdom won't be able to catch up. Our pilots in the M-Army also have world-class technology," Sidley said with a beaming expression, indicating that in dealing with small countries with weak air defense capabilities, their M-country pilots often provoke like this. So, this flight action made by F-22 was not taken seriously by Sidley at all. In this way, the M Air Force Control Department did not issue any communication regarding the F-22 piloted by Lu Xuan. Everyone thinks it's okay. After 2 minutes, they found from the flight detection data that the F-22 fighter jet, Lu Xuan, engaged in cruise control without any intention of slowing down and flew straight towards Kyushu province. If this continues, this F-22 will really fly into the airspace of Kyushu. Although Commander Sidley is very conceited, after all, it is Kyushu and there is still a lot of fear. So, in the face of this sudden situation, Commander Sidley immediately sent a call via radio to the F-22 fighter jet piloted by Lu Xuan. "Ghost Rider 1, this is Hunter 325. Did you receive it? Ghost Rider 1, this is Hunter 325. Did you receive it?" After calling twice in a row, F-22 did not respond, which made Sidley very strange. "Ghost Rider 1, this." Just as Sidley was about to make his third call, he suddenly heard a sincere greeting coming from the call channel. "Good grandson, Grandpa is here. P.S. Old author's new book, Seeking Flowers, recommendation tickets, tips, and all support. Kneel down and beg. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.